Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of the King's Corner. I'm Roderick.
Alberto.
I'm Brighton.
And actually, this week we actually have a special guest. Her name is Lauren, also More Than Melanin on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So tell them a little about yourself, Lauren.
Oh, that's what I was supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Thanks for throwing that on me. My name is Lauren. I'm 26. I'm from Miami. And yeah, I'm an aspiring social media content creator. So this is the next step in the journey.
Dope. So actually, this week we're actually talking about personal growth. And the personal growth aspect is more so of like, kind of like what year and age each of us has seen that we had grown the most. So how about we start off with you, Lauren? What year and age did
Hey,
you
ladies go.
think-
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
What?
No, 2 curveballs back to back. That's
We
not
love
fair.
the curveballs.
Hey, it is what it is.
When did you think that you had grown the most?
Last year.
And why? Why?
Wow, that was quick.
Yep.
Jeez, that's
Sure,
good.
it was up.
Period, point blank. I would have said 2021, but after last year, I realized what real strength and growth is, and that's what did it for me. The fact that I broke up with my ex of 4 years by the 5th of January. By the middle of February, I pretty much decided that I was going to take a risk and develop 2 new businesses in 1 year. And then COVID happened 30 days, not even 30 days, 15 days after that. Yeah, I just found strength and growth so much in 2020. All odds were against this woman. And still, I managed to make it out alive. So, yeah, I would say that 2020 was like that year. That was the year that I learned about forgiving myself. That was the year that I learned about what a true and real friend is. That was the year that I learned about my boundaries. That was the year that I decided that a toxic relationship was no longer for me and I didn't have to put up with BS. That was the year that I realized my power. So, yeah, there was a lot. It goes deeper than that, but on the surface, it is 25 was that year of maturity and realizing I can do bad all by myself. And that's on period. There is no comma. That is the end. Full stop. It was all about me last year, and I was okay with that. And I took the blessings, I took the downfalls, I took the failures, I took the heartbreak, I took the backstabbing, I took everything in 2020 and decided I can decide to make my life my dream, or I can decide to make my life a living hell. And I just finally chose happiness. And now we're here in 2021, and I've realized this is what was meant for Lauren. 2021 and how my year has started, how it's progressing, and fingers crossed, hopefully how it ends, is how Lauren was meant to live her life.
Girl, it sounds like you got hit by a train back in 2020.
2019.
Oh,
2019 going into
My bad.
2019 going to 2020 was like, if I explained to you what happened in the year of 2019, you wouldn't even believe what happened.
Is there any possible we can get like a brief summary?
I
I mean, if you want
None
to, if
too
you want
personal,
to, nothing
of
too
course.
personal. If you want to, I mean, if you
not-
don't feel comfortable, then by all means you don't have to.
It's not that it's too personal. It's just like that is its own podcast in and of itself. Remember, I was
geez.
saying toxic relationships.
So we wouldn't even have time to get ours.
Oh,
Being in a toxic relationship for 4 years, and there's no shade to this person. This person is more than likely watching this podcast right now, and there's no shade. We're still friends. It was mutual that things needed to be finito, but that person was just not aware of how toxic they were, and that's what happened. You will deal with a narcissist. You will deal with someone who's toxic, who is mentally and emotionally not available, not stable, and it will drain every ounce of what you think is sanity in your own mind, and it will put you in a place of a negative headspace that is not even actually who you are. I've never been a negative person. I've never been anxious. I'm anxious about certain things, but I never had anxiety like how I had it up until I met this person and I decided to drag myself through misery for 4 years. So getting out of a relationship and finding out that I don't have to listen to you even when I'm not in a relationship and I can go and learn about myself, it was liberating. And that was a moment last year that was negative. This person felt like I should not move on. This person felt like I did not have a right to go and talk to other people. I did not have a right to go and have my own circle or my own friends. It was not okay for us to still have mutual friends. It was not okay for me to be in the same city. And I packed up all of my stuff and I left the country and I started again in England. And that was my safe space. Yes. England. Shout out to England. Manchester.
So wait. What made you want to move to England?
Yeah, you know what? Even everybody on my
Right.
channel, on
That's
my
crazy.
Instagram wants to know why I moved to England, and my own family doesn't know
Dude,
why I
I was
moved to
at the
England.
gym one day and you called me and you were like, "Hey, when you come back to Miami?" I said, "I don't know." Eventually, you're like, "Oh, I'm going to England." I said, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah.
I'm going to England soon. I'm like, "Okay, shit."
Wasn't I with you this day?
You were with me. This was
Yeah,
last, like,
I remember.
it was last year, like March. or
Yeah,
something
March
like
is
that.
when
I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I remember. You're
March.
like, yo, a really good friend of mine.
She's like,
going
"I'm
to
leaving
England."
next week." I'm like,
I'm like,
"What?"
what? Yeah. I was like, yo, that's so like the way you made it sound. I'm like, that is probably the most spontaneous person.
Dude.
you've
I am the
ever, like,
queen
Spontaneity is
of yes.
on 100.
I am the queen of being spontaneous. And I've been like that since I was 16. Every year I try to pick a new place to move to. The year before last, I had lived in Bali. I lived in Malaysia. I've just gone everywhere. And my own motto is,
Malaysia, how's that?
I
That's
love,
Malaysia's beautiful.
it was
Alright.
horrible experience.
Why?
Horrible
You look so
experience.
pretty on Instagram.
I got robbed.
Okay.
My passport, I
That's
couldn't
crazy.
come back to the country. I was only supposed to be there for 3 days, ended up being there for 3 or 4 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so let's just
I
say
feel like that's a whole nother podcast.
that's a whole nother podcast
Episode-
itself
episode
too.
5 and 6.
Traveling podcasts, that's coming. But
Somebody finally got more stories than me.
I have so many
Nah, you still got
stories.
a lot.
No, you still no.
Wait
Yeah.
till we get on the crazy stalkers.
No, she has a lot. You have a plethora.
Oh god.
It's a good word. That's what you
And I don't know how that's possible because you're younger than me.
We're all younger than you.
We're all younger than you.
I know, but like for him to have a plethora more than me,
Wrong place.
And she's
wrong
well
time.
traveled as well.
Yeah.
yeah, I've been around the globe
She's a
more
lot,
than 3 or
she's
4
a lot
times.
more life experience than all of us.
Wrong place, wrong time for me.
I guess so.
But yeah, no, I just think that growing and realizing that, you know what, you don't have to deal with people's BS was like light bulb. And it was just like, you wake up one day and you realize, of course, it's the day after you do something for somebody, right? It's that day where you go all out.
Not always this.
You go all out and you're like, you have the audacity.
Watch. She gonna have all the girls at home. You damn right.
Yeah, you have the
That's all free,
audacity. So me and my friends take you out, buy the club out. You got your own.
You bought a whole
How are
club?
we living in
Well,
Miami,
let's just say
though?
an upstairs.
It don't matter.
Downstairs
That's so
was
high.
dope.
No invitation? What's up?
Listen,
We bought the club up.
he was straight. That's all I gotta say. We had bottles of 1942, and it was only 5 of us.
1940.
He was hammered, and within 6 hours of leaving, not even within 2 hours of leaving, I was like, and we're done. The phone was ringing off the hook. I'm laying in bed. He's laying in bed, pissed, drunk. I had to put him in the bed. And then to see the phone ring and there are 30 missed calls at 4, 5, 6 in the morning
From someone else.
from someone else. And I'm thinking, there's nobody, including your mother, who should be calling you at 3 a.m., 30 calls unless it's an emergency. And I don't see a text message stating what's the emergency. If there's an emergency, I'm calling you, then I'm messaging you. And I'm letting you know there's an emergency. But there's not. It's just a big, bright letters of ex-girlfriend. So that's all I needed.
Wait, the name in the phone was
The
ex-girlfriend?
name. No. The name in the phone was her name.
Oh.
But we're not gonna speak upon that because.
I was about to. No, yeah, we don't say no names yet.
Yeah.
But I was about to say
That's
that's
insane.
wild if people have their exes as in their phone as ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. At that point, just delete the number.
That's insane.
You don't even have the
Wow.
respect to even put him on the phone.
If it's like that in their phone, I put that in there like that.
Damn.
If it's like that, I put it in there like that. Just as a reminder, this is your ex and not your current.
I remember,
But-
I remember
That's a setup.
back
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, I saw Max's number saved, but I had it as never answered.
See, I've never had.
I put somebody as ghost, the ghost emoji, to remind myself I need to ghost this person like they ghost me.
Alright, so
So
people have clearly hurt y'all to
You
the
the
point.
type of person you gonna wake up with a butter knife to your neck.
Yeah. Listen, I have never had an ex or a person in my life where I disliked them so much at the end of our relationship to where I have their number or name in my phone.
It's coming.
Something like that.
But that was
It's coming.
But this is the one from like school.
Talking about me?
no.
Oh,
it
for
is.
you.
Mm,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
Alright.
and I was single for a good amount of time.
No, yeah, that one makes sense. I'm just saying, me personally, I also don't date like that. So I've only had 2 girlfriends. So
Same, only 2 boyfriends, the 2 club.
But yeah, for
Sorry,
me,
mom and dad, because they didn't even know about the other one. They're probably like, "Who are you talking about?"
That's wild. But I mean, so for me, personal growth. I mean, I think probably the past 6 months, I've probably grown the most.
Really?
Honestly,
Yeah.
no. Well,
Same boat.
honestly, the last 6 months, yes. The last 2 months, it went from here to here.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, like 6 months, really the last 2. So I guess it would be this year I've probably grown the most as a person. This year, I finally got word that my career was moving forward within the federal government. I'm not going to say what it is, but my career's moving forward. Takes a long time for that. I'm 23, so me getting that first job in the career is super important. At the same time, the new year, post-COVID, well, not really post. I mean, it's whatever. Like it's
Middle.
COVID.
Currently COVID.
Current, during, whatever the hell it is.
Phase 3.
Yeah, fake 28. I'm saying.
Supposed to be 3 weeks, and now here we
yeah,
are,
exactly.
a year and a half.
So COVID happened, then, beginning of the year, January 3rd, me and my girlfriend at the time, we had split. But I was actually getting ready to make a pretty big change in my life, starting like mid-December. I started really evaluating how I was acting, how I was thinking, and a lot of things in my life that were going wrong and how I could fix them myself. And then January hit. She broke up with me. And then, I kind of went like a little downward spiral, a little bit of it.
A little. Are you sure?
A big downward spiral.
There you go. There you go. Remember.
He's about to make you crash. Ooh, you crashed.
Remember.
Ooh, you crashed. He's about to make you
We
crash.
were there. We were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all still here. What's up?
It's not little. A lot. A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. But, I started going in the
What are
downward
tears?
started going in a downward spiral. And then, I started reading more. I already read enough. I'm well read.
I hate reading. I despise it.
I'm like school and all that stuff. Like I'm well read, so trying to finish up school and all that stuff. It's kind of hard online. Then when you're going through something, you're hurting. It's a lot harder to do school and work and wake up in general. So now I have the process of me starting my career, and that's really recent. That's January 6th is when I got that email that I've been moving
So you
forward.
broke up on the 3rd, career on the 6th, 3 days later.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's like, yay, my career started, but fuck, I'm still sad. So you got January 6th, my career starts, and I'm like, damn, we don't have anyone to share it with anymore. I got my homies, I got my family, but when you had someone you could share that career with, and then now I don't. So it's like, I'm moving forward the first time ever, and now I have no one to share that with. So it's like, shit. Like, that made it worse, because I was like, I'm happy, but I'm sad at the same time, extremely sad. So then, I start doing things I don't usually do on a regular basis, like skipping meals, all that stuff.
Like
Once a day,
And
still
yell
going
at
to,
you.
and still going to the damn gym. So, and drinking coffee and all that stuff. So I'm burning hella fat, but I'm not putting any food in my system. So you know,
and how you still have your strength beats me because I literally call it retard strength. The fact that you can keep up with me and you only have one meal in, if I don't at least have 3, I'm not going to the gym.
yeah.
I'm not pushing weight.
Trust me, I don't get it either. But yeah, like I started doing things I don't usually
It's
do.
probably the anger, like the built up frustration and anger pushes
I think that's what
you
it
to
was,
like
yeah. It's a lot of
boundaries that you
makes
didn't
sense.
know you
that
had.
makes sense because the one day that we went to the one in Dr. Phillips, I was pushing weight for 3 whole hours.
yeah. You were in your feels.
Oh,
Yeah, when you get in your
so
feels, you
livid.
become Superwoman, Superman. Like you do things that you did not know you could do. This past year, when this whole incident happened with this person who didn't believe the things that were going on in my life, and everybody's like, Lauren, you're like carrying 8 50-pound suitcases on your back down the stairs, and I'm like,
That strength.
I'm
comes,
ready
yeah, that strength
to
comes,
leave. I'm ready. I'm done.
That's
you
that
know,
super
like
anger strength. So
it's
I mean,
just anger and built up frustration.
I definitely had a lot of that going on. And it wasn't anger towards the person; it was anger at the situation. But then, you know, middle of January, I started, you know, kind of not. I don't even want to say realizing like my worth because that makes it seem like the person didn't value me or whatever. It's not the case. It's just it was more of I started to realize how much I was worth as a person and how much I knew that I had going for me. I'm starting a career like not many people can say that at 23. A lot of people are still kind of figuring out what they're doing with their lives in general at this age. So after that, started reading more. I'm not a spiritual person at all. I'm not really a spiritual guy, but I started kind of getting into, you know, looking at like certain quotes that would lean more towards spirituality, but not more like, you know, like not like the chakra stuff or anything like that. It's more like the stars and astrology. More so just like you being in tune with yourself and your mind, because it kind of helps. And then there's actually one person that I had spoke to really briefly. That was even just through regular text, and she had actually I kind of told her what happened, and
Was it me?
no, it wasn't
Oh.
me. it was another acquaintance of mine. Well, it was like actually acquaintance. You're a friend, but that's the acquaintance. She actually had told me because
You're my cousin.
yeah, I'm cousin. What's up? She actually had
Fools.
so she actually had told me after I kind of told her what happened was she was like, I told her like, hey, I have like a lot of unanswered questions, and that's the worst part. And she was like, you know, a lot of these unanswered questions, then you getting the answers to them is not gonna fix it. And then that really hit because I didn't even know that girl very very well. I don't know her very well to this day. She doesn't know me at all either. So her to say that, just a few words kind of just hit me real hard. And I was like, damn, she's fucking right. Like I'm over here upset about all these issues and all these questions that I have that I'm not gonna get answered. And even if I get them answered, I'm going to want to ask other questions about what can I do to fix it, what went wrong, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, probably just gonna branch off. He's gonna keep on branching off and branching off and branching off. And
Exactly.
It's gonna get to the point
And-
to where you're literally.
And it becomes insanity at that point. It becomes absolute insanity. So, you know, then I was like, okay, let me relax, let me chill. And then I started growing as a person, as in like just realizing mentally where I was and started breathing more. You know, every now and then I'll get like a little bit of a relapse, like, damn, you know.
You had one.
I
4 hours
had.
ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put them on the spot like that.
You put me on
Yeah.
blast.
That's okay. Five cups of scotch and how many cigars?
4 cigars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was bad relapse.
But you know, every now and then I'll get like a little relapse of like, you know, what I had, like
What
I don't
things could be.
what things could be, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, you know what, you know, it is what it is. At that point, I'm at a point where it is what it is. The growth in me was where I used to just ponder on a lot of things. I'm a thinker. I'm also a memory person.
Same.
So when you're a thinker and you're a memory person like myself, remember when I say memory person, I'm talking about if I see a picture.
Memories are triggering.
Dude, if I see a picture, or if I see a quote, or hear a certain song,
Or the jacket she wore.
or whatever, or it's like
Anything that reminds
Resembles
you of
and
her.
reminds-
any remembrance of anything. I could be driving down the street at a certain time of day and be like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
can pass by Olive Garden.
Fuck Olive Garden.
Whoa.
Hey, you can't
Yeah,
go wrong with breadsticks though.
Breadsticks. But yeah, like I'm a memory person. I'm a
Olive
thinker.
Garden, if you were listening, we wouldn't mind the sponsorship. Thank you so much. We
And
love
free
you.
mozzarella sticks.
We like
Free
you.
mozzarella
You
The
know,
sticks.
breadsticks.
Yeah,
I'm
we
done.
like
We
you.
love salad and breadsticks.
But yeah, like when you're a thinker and a memory person, like it hits you hard. So I've been working on, trying not to ponder on the memories and trying to overthink things, because when you overthink, that disturbs your peace in a whole nother level. Like I'll go to bed thinking and I won't sleep, or I'll wake up thinking and I'll be late to work, or whatever, And then so I have been, and I'm still working on myself a lot this year, and I have been the past couple of weeks. I kind of just been working out more, trying to eat more too. But yeah, this year specifically, I'm trying to eat more.
You're lying too.
This year in specific, I've been trying to work on myself the most. So I would say I've grown the most in the past 6 months. So between 2020 and 2021.
All right. That's good.
Yeah. What about you, Papa?
Yeah, saving for last as usual, huh?
I'm just broken.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Give it to me. Yes.
To be
Damage
very
and
honest,
distress.
to be very honest, I think I've grown the most in the last
Were you looking at a watch?
No.
Yeah, tattoo.
my tattoo.
Oh.
I was looking at the year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last we're in 2021, right? The last
7 years.
7 years, in all honesty.
The whole 7 years?
Yep.
There's not like 1 year that stands out. No.
I've known Roberto for about 10 years now, and he's grown a shit ton in the past 6, 7,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Primarily, the start of it was the day that my dad died.
Mm.
And my father died 3 days before his 60th birthday. Died on the 14th of November. His birthday was the 17th. It was on a Friday. The fact that I accepted my father's death from the 14th to the 17th, that's when reality hit me like a fucking truck. That's when I started to accept things for what they are and
Okay.
keep moving forward. Now, don't get me wrong. Throughout the years, I would never express my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
right? 6 months after my father passed away, my godmother passes away from breast cancer, right? Hit me like a truck again. But we kind of knew it was going to happen.
Okay. There
You
was some
know,
preparation.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, she was supposed to pass away when I was like 2.
Oh, so it was a blessing that she even
Oh yeah, most
got
definitely.
to be
It
around.
was really hard because it's like it was towards the end. Like she was in so much pain to where the hospital was giving her morphine.
Mm.
And then after that, they were like, "We can't prescribe you any more pain meds. Like we're gonna have to send you home, and you're gonna go." You know. So that also hit. So losing 2 important people in a span of 6 months
Mm-hmm.
really broke me. And again, I had to accept it for what it was, even though like I knew in the back of my head it was going to happen eventually. It happened.
I never knew that about you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm very open about it if you ask me about it, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't really bother me, you
Yeah.
know, to express about it. And that's, when that happened, I would not say a word. I would literally keep everything bottled up.
Yeah.
I would keep my anger, frustration, literally all my emotions, I would just keep it bottled up.
That's exactly how I was too. That's one thing I'm working on myself also.
Exactly.
Is being more open with my emotions, because I have a lot of things that I keep pent up as well, and
Mhm.
but realizing that when you keep it bottled in,
It
help.
doesn't help. It just
doesn't
makes
help.
it makes you more.
so much worse, and then
it
when
just-
when it comes out, it explodes.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Explodes.
And you black out the whole 9 yards. It's really bad.
See, I don't bottle up. My thing is, I'm very selective on who I want to give information, but for me, I'm very secure with my heart.
So you
Not very many people get that deep.
Mm.
That's why when I do tell you
do, it's
something and
real.
you take something and twist it or misconstrue the things that I'm saying or how I'm feeling, I take it as a personal insult, because I didn't have to share anything with you. I didn't have to do that. I chose to. I wanted to. That was something that I felt you were privileged to know.
Mm-hmm. So that I actually learned sometime last year, but we'll get to that like,
Okay.
throughout the timeline. So, anyways, after my godmother passed away, Well, no. After my father passed away, that's when my family showed their true colors on both sides, my mom and my dad's side.
Okay.
Found out some nasty, dark truths after my godmother passed away that was a secret in my family for years on end. And then once I heard of it and I saw how certain family members acted when my father was still alive, it kind of like I put two and two together and it kind of clicked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, again, I'd accept it for what it was and I kept moving forward.
Right.
Then something happened with my high school sweetheart.
Yeah, because if you say too much, we all know who that is.
Yeah.
I already know who it is.
But
Let's just say my firstborn would have been like 4 years old by now.
Yeah.
Drink some tea.
yeah.
He said drink some
He said drink some tea. Spill the tea is what he wants you to do.
Kermit the Frog head ass. Yeah, so yeah, my firstborn technically would have been about 4 years right about now. There is also that possibility that it wasn't mine. Yeah, that also defeats brings down a man's
It's not even just the ego, just spirit, right?
Yeah.
Your spirit at that
yeah.
point.
So that was a hard pill to swallow. After that, and again, just bottling everything up and just again trying to accept that was hard. But of course, the show must go on. So again, I would just exactly. So it was just one of those things where you just keep moving forward, whether I liked it or not. Again, everything just kept bottled up. What helped me was going to the gym. Before it was more a physical appearance. Now it's just more for my mental state because all y'all know I have so much anger built up. It's not even funny. Like I get so angry. I always say I want to punch an infant, but I really don't want
working
to.
out is your therapy.
It really is my therapy.
I would say this and working out is both you and I's therapy.
To be very honest.
Which is so crazy that there are countries like England that do lockdown gyms in lockdown, not realizing that your mental and physical health is so dependent on the gym. Like that is the equivalent of a hospital being open. Mentally, that is the equivalent of the ER being open. You go through something traumatic, and the first thing you want to do is hit the gym.
I mean, the thing is, for me, like until recently, I never really So my ex. When I say ex, I'm just not like it's never a derogatory term for her. She's absolutely amazing. It's just that I never knew how like important mental health was until I got with her. I always knew mental health was an issue for a lot of people. I was in a state where I bottled everything in.
Whoa.
I was in a state where I bottled everything in and I dealt with things myself. And then until my anger just exploded and people saw, which happened very seldom. It was rare. So when I got with her, she was / is one of the only people that I really know that's really self-aware in the sense of she knows what she wants and her peace and what surrounds her, which is great because I didn't really get to understand that until she had finally left. And when she left, I really thought about it and I was like, because my mental health and my peace was completely destroyed. So then I was like, damn, maybe I should have probably listened to her a little bit more instead of being the asshole I was the entire time when we were dating when it came to something. Because I was always like, oh, you're getting all this shit from social media.
Yeah.
Some things she was, but the thing is, she also took it to account where she would understand it at a deeper meaning than a lot of girls that I do know. So
it's about balance.
It's about balance. I hated that shit. I hated the balancing. I hated it.
That's how it was the last couple of years until I met my ex last year. And,
exactly.
And she was probably the one that was like, it's okay to, talk about your feelings. When I tell you, because we met through work, and I mentioned this back in our very first episode, I had the Mr. Tough Guy ego. But the wall was hella high. She was the only one that broke down that wall. Yeah. The only one, so she saw I guess you can say the real me, and then everybody else had Mr. Tough Guy, so she was the one that, told me, what, hey, it's okay to talk. It's okay to, open up that bottle. And when I tell you she is the only person I've cried in front of, the only one. I don't cry.
Mhm.
Same for my ex.
I don't cry. The last time that I cried was when I saw my father in the casket. That was it. From that point, from that time period to I'd say beginning of last year, I think. Roughly, that was the last time I cried.
Yeah.
And so, after everything that me and my ex went through, I'm still trying to get over our situation that happened back in October, which I'm still having horrible relapses on.
Mm.
Fucking sucks. I had one last night when we went out. It was bad.
So
It was really bad. And yes, I did have a relapse last night.
Yeah, I was wondering. Okay.
It was really when I was literally just like sitting down, just like spaced out. Yeah, it was bad. And the really fucked up part is I did that to myself.
oh, we always do it to ourselves.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
It'll be the scrolling or whatever.
No, but here's
For
the
me,
thing.
it's the scrolling. I'd be like,
For
shit,
me, it's
I gotta
just
stop.
blatantly thinking. Like I deliberately think about it.
No, for me, but here's the thing though. For me, it wasn't like I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't scrolling anything. I was just having the conversation with our mutual friend.
Mhm.
And my dumbass, because you know me, I like to throw myself underneath the bus just cause it's funny. My dumbass did it with the alcohol in my system,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh shit. And that's when it hit me. I'm like,
When the alcohol's talking, you gotta start walking. Bro.
you
Should be crazy.
can't walk in that place, bro.
Oh, yeah, it's too
You
small.
can't walk in that place.
But I find it's crazy how sometimes because for me when my grandmother died when I was 15, 16, I didn't cry. And not that I didn't love my grandmother, I loved her to death. I wear her ring and her earrings, and I got a tattoo for her. Loved her. I didn't cry though. And the thing is, I didn't cry until my ex left me, and I cried in front of her. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll say it. I cried in front of her. I bawled my eyes out. I was destroyed.
Did you punch your steering wheel?
Yes, expensive steering wheel.
Like, not the hard way.
Expensive as fuck. So it's crazy how sometimes it's the people. It's not like that they hurt us. They hurt us temporarily. But the thing is, my ex-girlfriend, she taught me so much, and it sucks because you really kind of don't realize what you have with someone
Almost definitely.
until you're fucking done with them. And that's the shit. And it hit me immediately. So I was like, I'm losing everything I just realized I had. And
I mean,
it's like,
for me, it's different because the situation where I fucked up the last relationship, and of course, I did everything in my power to fix it. So I know where you're coming from to a certain extent. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks because I learned so much from my ex that like I said, like she is a blessing, even though you think otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
She is a blessing.
They're always a blessing. Every ex is a blessing in a different way. Man.
Exactly, and
we don't bash exes because when people bash their exes,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous because it's like you can't be acting like you weren't just gassing them up when you were together.
my point is that.
Or that they didn't provide you with a lesson.
Dude, my ex-girlfriend taught me how to grow. And the
Yeah,
thing
same,
is, it sucks.
same.
She literally
Same.
taught me how to grow. And I'm growing now because of her. And it's not in a bad way. I love that girl. But she taught me how to grow.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I still have a lot of love and respect for the girl, even though we have each other blocked and the whole shebang. And I'm being very honest. I don't plan on
Unblocking her?
or having any kind of communication because honestly, I feel like that's just the better option for the both of us.
Yeah.
For you
Honestly.
too, exactly.
Because I don't want to say that we ended off on good or bad terms. It was just
Mutual.
I don't want to say mutual. It was just
it was
Go with the flow.
not even a go with the flow.
What was
you guys.
necessary.
What it was,
But the thing
water?
is, the problem with you guys was that you guys were together, then you broke up, got back together.
Yeah, and then broke up again.
And broke up
yeah.
again. So once you hit that third breakup,
It's
the second breakup, you tried it already.
Yeah, exactly.
You tried it. People can get back together. I believe in that. You can get back together with someone, no problem. But if you break up again, it's done.
Yeah, most definitely.
So there's this is now a question. So there's
Okay.
a rule to how many times you can break up and get back
No, it's
together.
not
at the
a
same
There's
time?
not
Rule.
necessarily a rule, but
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of like
And
you know
then-
what?
It's so many times.
It's only so many times that you can do
Like
it.
stop trying to
Yes.
make something happen. That's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
going to
Because
happen.
honestly,
Yeah.
like the way that I like it kind of like it got to the point to where it's like I realized that we're just prolonging the inevitable. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it literally it was one of those things where it happened from one day to the next, and it got to the point to where I started to feel numb.
Well, the thing is, like I said earlier, like sometimes you have to take a step back in order to move forward.
Exactly.
And I believe in that when it comes to friendships and relationships, because and just in life period, like so sometimes you have to take a step back and say, hey, I was with this person at one point. Now let me try and move forward with them. And people work out. People will break up for years and get married and have beautiful lives and kids and all that stuff. So
Most definitely.
But how many times is too many times?
Honestly, from my personal experience, I'd say the second one.
Okay.
it's like,
That's it.
I agree.
Too.
I
That's
agree.
it.
I agree.
exactly.
I personally know someone who, I think this is the third time, and in my head, I'm never going to be the person who tells you you should or should not get back with whoever it is that you want to get back with. That's just not me. It's not my business. I don't know the situation personally, but what I do know is if you feel like you need to fight for something, it's a two-way street. And there's only so many times you need to fight for something and it not work, and for you to realize I'm fighting for something and it's not working because both of us are not doing the same thing. If two people are fighting towards something, you're going to end up at the same end goal. If one person is fighting more than the other person,
Yeah.
there's no way for you to end up at the same.
at the same point.
Yeah.
Too much leeway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's way
and
too
it's
much.
you're just trying to force something that's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
sometimes we need that. We know in our head it's not going to work, and
But
we
you need to
need
go through
the
those
physical
motions to
proof,
understand.
and we need to be hurt. We need to be beaten. We need to be slapped across the face to be like, oh,
You learn a lesson.
You learn.
yep.
Exactly.
Shouldn't have done that. Now I can move on and not feel guilty and not have the what ifs. What if I wouldn't have? What if I didn't try? What if I didn't experience?
Yeah, those what ifs will absolutely destroy you.
Yes,
Absolutely
100%.
destroy you.
What's your story, brother?
This man.
Old school lies.
Alright,
man.
Before you
No,
speak,
you're normally the first one.
listen, before you speak on anything, I only known you for 2.5 years, but in the last 6-7 months, you have grown immensely. Now, I don't know if that's a product of you just changing your surroundings. I don't know if that's a product of you changing your mentality, but you have grown immensely the past 2 months. This year, kind of like me, but your growth is different.
That's such a good friendship.
It's very true. It is very
That's
true.
so sweet, you guys.
Although I'm not gonna lie though, last like 3 weeks you've been pretty lazy.
Well, hey, whoa, we just went from like nice compliments.
No.
to-
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about me. I'm brutally honest.
I know, but that was his
Destroy.
moment. I was giving him the moment, like, oh,
He has like 5 seconds of shine. That's okay.
No,
now
but-
we're back to reality.
No,
Okay?
but-
your shyness.
But you are definitely turning into the person that I knew you could be, and I know you can be.
You
are
needed
definitely-
that. You needed that.
You
like
needed a push.
shove. No,
Your
no,
bros
no,
are
no, no.
proud of
You
you.
needed
No. It's a shove.
They're proud of
It's
you.
not a foot.
Shove.
It's a whole shove. Like I'm gonna
You dig?
spear you from the back.
Okay, let him tell his
You're-
story. Let him
Yes.
tell his story. What's your story?
Honestly, a little bit happened.
A little.
Would you care to elaborate
Well, here's the thing.
without digging
Be as
yourself
open as
a
you
hole?
need to be.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I will say this disclosure. I won't go too in full in depth of what happened in the last 6 months. I will give you guys a gist.
Okay.
But I can start from when I was before I turned 18. So just like Berto, I did have an unexpected death. It was my grandmother. They buried her the day before my 18th birthday. So I went to school that day on my birthday too, because I didn't want to be home. And that was like the first time I actually had like a death that was just like
Close.
really close to that. I
Yeah.
lived with my grandmother for 17 years. She didn't see my 18th birthday. She didn't even get to see me graduate yet. She saw my sister graduate, but not me. So that's that. So now I have an attachment kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
where I don't like having people in my life for too long and then just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just something I have to learn, especially as I get older, and people will get older as well. So if you ask me why I don't have a dog, is because I guarantee if it passes away,
It's gonna hurt.
I'll probably burn down my own house.
Literally, that's the worst
Bro, how do you
death that I've
How do
experienced
you
so
think
far in
I
life.
feel? And I have 2. You don't think I think about things like that? When it comes to my dog, my little shit that I adopted when he was 2 months old.
Yes.
Yeah, believe me when I tell
Pets are
you.
part of the family, bro.
Believe me when I
Pets
tell
are
you.
human.
I
They're your
think
human.
about it
Yeah.
every single day.
Yes.
Pets are your kids, bro.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Pets are your kids.
So, what I did to cope with that is,
Got a bunny.
No, I didn't get any pets. My parents only
A
got
python.
pets. I really wish I
A
had,
fish.
I had a fish. I was too young to actually remember what it was. I named it Cookie. It died like 3 days later, and my mom flushed it down the
Please
toilet.
tell me you did not get this goldfish at
No, we got it at
PetSmart.
PetSmart. Petco.
Petco. I was just gonna say Petco.
yes.
Yeah.
We got it somewhere.
One of those.
It was a sale. Get 3 fishes for like $50. My
3
mom-
fishes.
Yeah, 3 fishes.
I don't wait. Pause. I don't remember goldfishes being that expensive.
This is like
For how much?
2007. Super gold.
3.
For
It's
what?
like
For how much?
2007, mind you. This was a different time, and I was in New York.
You said expensive though. What's
2007?
expensive
It
about
was around
3
there.
fish for $20?
You were
It was $50.
18 in
Oh,
2007.
No, this is like
no,
way
he,
before.
he,
This
went,
is
he
like-
went back in time.
Oh,
went
okay,
back
okay,
then.
okay.
Me and
okay.
time machine, brother.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You lost me for a
Back in
split
time.
second.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had no
50
fish.
seems quite steep for goldfish.
Hey,
Doctor Who?
It was back then.
They should be like
It was-
maybe
it was
3
like,
for
Alright,
20.
fuck the goldfish.
Me and my goldfish alone. God, I love
Fuck the
Cookie.
goldfish, bro.
He was like a royal blue looking fish.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a beta. It was a
I
beta.
didn't know what it was.
Fish.
He died like 3 days later. My mom was changing the water. He said, I was like, yo, it's like, yo. I was like, yo, you supposed to do that? My sister's like, oh, he dead. I was like, stop playing with me. So yeah, he dead. I started crying because you know me. But anyway,
Because you know me.
forget the fish. So to cope with losing,
You went to school on your birthday.
Yeah, to cope with it, I went to school just so I don't have to be around my family because I know my grandfather was really hurt, and to this day he's still pretty hurt about it.
That's how it
'cause-
goes.
Yeah, so I make meaningful connections with most people I meet if I feel as if I know you won't like up and leave out of my life
Mm-hmm.
just for any odd reason. I mean, if you go ahead,
Liam, boy?
I mean, if you just like
Me too.
go to college or whatever, that's different. That you know you're doing your own thing. I don't have to keep in contact with you like every day, but as long as I know you're okay, I see you doing good.
Mm.
You know, I hit you up, you hit me up. That's cool. I like that connection.
Yeah.
So that's how I cope with that. Now, fast forward 6 months ago, 7 months ago, that's when I first moved out, and this guy obviously was my roommate, and another person who was the other roommate.
And unmentionable.
Unmentionable. Yes.
He who shall never be named.
Was he
Yes.
Voldemort?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's Voldemort. Low key. Anyways.
And you're watching the podcast, guaranteed. So.
What's up, my dude?
I don't
What's
even
up?
know.
going
I
on?
don't even know if he does watch it or
Who
not.
cares?
Oh,
I
we
don't
know.
I don't know.
We
Anyway.
know.
Boy.
Anyways, moving out was just like, yeah, you know, it's cool. I don't gotta listen to my parents no more, you know.
You finally got that freedom that
Big
your
man.
parents
Yeah.
never gave you.
But boy, was I just like, gotta defend for myself. You know.
When you don't have freedom and you finally get it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sometimes people don't like know how to act.
Yeah, I mean,
Just making bad decisions
I was
sometimes.
responsible with it, but at the same time, I was just like, everything. Great power comes with great responsibility.
Superheroes.
So at that time, I was single and I had broken up with my ex, and obviously, like most people say, you could always get back with your ex if things happen, but I didn't plan on getting back with her. But the situation between me and her after I let her back into my life is what to this day is like making me grow as a person and actually push myself to do better.
Mm.
I won't speak upon it if you guys know about it.
Mm.
You don't.
I will though.
Tell you
Yeah,
later.
she will, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you later.
Yeah.
But it has pushed me this far. Yeah, sometimes I do have days where I'm just like,
I just want to punch an infant.
No, I just want to just
I
say
think I'm the
screw
only
it.
one.
What is up with you and the infants?
I know. It's just,
Yeah.
it's,
It's
it's because
psychotic.
it's because
Really,
we're
you
in
could choose a punching bag, a
no,
cactus.
no,
anything.
No, it's because infants can just be really annoying, and
But
once
you
I get
have to love
annoyed,
them.
I just want to
And
punch
it's
an
called
infant.
abuse.
It's not called an abuse.
So I'm gonna
if
pull
no one
CPS
knows
on my
about it.
first child.
If no one knows about it, it's not
so
called
this
abuse.
is a disclaimer. It's a metaphor. He does not want to punch an actual infant.
No,
Yeah,
it is,
I
no,
was
it is
just
a
gonna
metaphor.
say.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. I
Yeah.
don't actually want to punch an infant. I'd much rather punch the wall. But
CPS gonna be looking for you.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And the feds.
So,
oh
but
my god, finally I'll be wanted.
Yeah.
damn.
Finally, Finally,
So-
let's go.
So, but yeah.
This
Only shit
so,
sucks.
So 6-7 months.
Yeah, so it actually pushed me to get into law enforcement,
Mm-hmm.
which you helped me actually realize what I wanted to do because
Yeah,
of
we
my.
went paintballing one day, and then I
Yeah.
was like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing, man?"
I was
You guys
nice,
went too?
nice
So-
at paintball.
So I was like, "What you doing, man?" And then you actually didn't know how far you could actually take law enforcement.
Yeah, I didn't
And
know.
then since I'm going into law enforcement, I told you go to school.
I'm the only one that's gonna have a regular job.
You'll be okay.
Personal trainer though, so it's okay.
There you go.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I mean, with the law enforcement, you didn't really know the opportunities. You thought you just be a regular cop
Yeah.
forever, make the same salary forever. Because like
Yes.
movies and TV shows kind of portray police officers and
yeah.
first responders as always
Yeah.
being bro. Whether you're a nurse working 12-hour shifts,
Yeah.
or a doctor who's starting off, or a firefighter, or whatever, you can make a lot of money. It's not always about the money. If you're a first responder, it's not about the money. You're doing it for a different reason and a higher calling.
Yeah.
But people have the stigma that everyone that's first responder is broke as hell. If you pair it with school, you pair it with education, you pair it with other skills, you can make a really good living for yourself and your family.
Mm-hmm. So, not to get sidetracked, yeah, you helped me realize that as I was moving out, and then I decided to put my foot in that door. It's a long process, not as long as yours, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Follow the yellow brick road kind of ordeal.
and hopefully a house don't fall on
Mhm.
But anyways,
Anywhere.
yeah, that. Along the road of me moving out, I learned who I could trust and not to actually trust.
You get to pick and choose who you can be Mr. Tough Guy to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I haven't actually opened up to any like significant other.
We don't
as
do
of
that.
yet,
We don't do that right now. We don't do that.
because-
No,
Your
don't
boy-
say that. That
No,
person
no.
just hasn't come into his life.
Hence
yet.
why,
Yes,
hence why I'm saying it.
When
We
they
don't that.
do,
Yes.
you will. You will.
It's gonna be natural.
Yeah.
Don't ever have a wall up for any reason.
Yeah,
If
no.
you have a wall up,
24/7.
you can't.
25-8,
The
and that's
thing
on
is,
pain.
if you
That's on
have
pain.
if you have that wall up, you're never gonna be able to let someone fully in. And when you don't let
No,
someone
that's
fully in,
BS.
that's a
No, that is
problem.
BS because, like I told you, my ex, I had that boundary.
She had,
up with
but
her
she had
as
to
well.
fight to knock down that wall.
My point exactly. That's okay.
No one should have to
Yeah.
fight to knock
But
down
vice
the wall.
versa, though, it's the
Yeah,
same thing when,
Auschwitz.
when it comes with the guy and the girl.
But you don't want it to be done to you.
Listen,
So
okay.
if you don't want it to be done
Let's-
to you because you don't want to work that hard, then you really
Listen,
need to focus
let's
on working
flip.
on yourself.
Let's flip it. Let's flip it.
Cramp.
Let's flip it real quick.
Alright.
How'd you get a cramp?
I don't know.
It's a lot of pressure.
All right, so
You put me in the hot seat right now.
all right, so we gonna flip it
All right, let's go.
because we've had a conversation about this already.
That's fine.
All right. What about when you're prying for information out of somebody because they have a wall up?
Mm.
and
Oh, I
then-
hate
and
you.
then-
I hate you.
because we've talked about it, and
We
you
have.
you don't like when someone has a wall up because then you have to pry for information on their feelings or whatever. That's just one example.
And that is one example.
That is one example.
That is true.
So, with that being said,
I already lost the argument.
oh, trust me, I already know you did.
I already lost the argument.
Like all of us already knew you lost the
Sorry.
argument.
So yes,
You just stuck your
there
foot in
should
your mouth.
never be you should never be a wall. Every relationship you get into should be a fresh start. Absolutely fresh start.
No, most definitely. But I feel like more on the talking stage, I guess you can say, is like, I don't know, like, I'm like over exaggerating the whole wall thing.
Mhm.
It's okay to just have like a slight wall up because you don't want
You
to.
gotta be conscious.
You
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
give
You
too
need a
much
fence.
away
Exactly.
too fast.
Yeah.
Keep the fence up, you know?
For
You
sure.
pick a
So
fence.
sometimes
electric fence instead.
Some people
That's-
are not there for your
no.
best
A
interest.
picket
Yeah.
fence is fine. You'll be fine.
No,
Just don't tell your social security and all that type of stuff. You'll be fine.
So for me, after what happened to me, I was thinking, damn, the next person I get in with, I'm not gonna. But I'm really open with people when I date them.
Mm-hmm.
When I like you and I'm like, damn, you're gonna be my girl. I'm very open.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then once I'm open, everything comes out. And then I don't really have walls. I never had a wall. I don't date, but I don't date often. So when I do open up, it's real. Now, I was thinking, man, I shouldn't open up because when you tell someone so many things and then you guys aren't together anymore, it's like, damn, did I waste my time putting in all this effort and this patience and my energy and opening up to somebody, opening my emotions? You didn't waste your time because you never really love the wrong people. The fact that you love them in the first place is a beautiful thing anyway.
Oh yeah.
Because
It's
a lot
like
of,
again, it's like
Yeah.
one of those in the moment kind of ordeals.
exactly. A lot of people can't even really express love.
Yeah, no. It's
So So the fact that, you know, I can open up, I like that about myself. And for a little bit, I hated it about myself until
No.
recently.
Yeah.
I don't want
it
to
is
change myself because I was hurt.
No. You don't want to change something that has a positive connotation and flip it as a negative.
Just because
So
I
there's
was
nothing
hurt.
wrong with it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you just want to be more cautious about it.
It is.
Cautious,
Yeah.
It's only wrong that someone would take the information given and twist it or use it against you.
Yeah, which has not happened. But I was just, it was more of, because you know, the people I have dated, they're not bad people at all. But for me, it was like, you know, it was more so like, I don't want to open up ever again because I'll get hurt. And when you start thinking that way, then the wall is a toxic wall because you're never ever going to let somebody in the proper way. You're never going to show them the love that they deserve and from what they're reciprocating and all that stuff. You're not going to accept it. When you don't accept the love that you're getting, you know, you're just going to cause issues. And then you're going to be in a cycle of bullshit.
So wait, I'm just gonna turn off right there. Right, we kind of just like straight away off of his story, and I feel bad.
I like your story though.
Continue with your story. I'm sorry.
It's a segue though. It's a segue.
He did finish his story because he
Oh, he
said,
did?
I just now choose who I give information to. That's how we got on that.
Oh, I don't. But I
It's
don't.
just segues, yeah.
It kind of split, but yeah, I do. I'm very cautious on who I give my attention to, and I tell things to. Like you guys, I don't people I really tell anything to. And as you know, our other friends, you know who they are. I don't tell them anything.
Yeah.
My
Because we play.
situation.
I mean, at the end of the day, we just play stupid.
We're just closer.
No.
Yeah.
These are whoa. Listen, guys, we don't tell people that we play stupid. We just keep it to ourselves. Y'all are some real boys.
We just
Like,
be stupid.
No.
because people watch this now, they know you play stupid.
Wow.
He
He plays
plays
stupid.
No,
Yeah.
I play
He plays
stupid. I play stupid.
He plays stupid as shit.
I really do. I mean, it's true. Like, if someone tells me, "Oh, don't tell anybody," what are you talking about? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You be doing that.
Like-
I mean,
like-
some people, you know,
Like that shit. Like that shit. I would literally put it in like in a bottle and like pass it out to sea, and that's exactly where it stays. That's what I mean by
You
that.
having little secrets as well. You're good secret keeper. Yeah.
Mm,
But yeah, picking and choosing who you open up with is
Drunk.
important as well, though, for sure.
Yes, I learned that not the hard way, but it's more of like it just happened out of the blue. This person just didn't say anything to me. Just like, okay, well, screw you without saying screw you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, now I gotta like find a place to live. Like, I'm just like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, so I'm very cautious in who I keep around me now. That's why my friend group is literally about 5.
And nothing wrong with having a small friend group. That means people get to know you better.
Yeah, you guys know me very well.
Lit.
My habits and
Lit.
all that type of craziness. But that actually helped me not to just talk to random people because some random people are crazy
Mm-hmm.
and weird.
A lot of people out there, man.
Yeah. And then fast forward a little bit more, you know, I just revolved around. I actually the other day was just thinking about everything that happened. I'm just like, I'm kind of blessed in a way where I'm still here. I'm not like doing drugs and all types of craziness, and I actually still do have a future. It's just I have to take it one day at a time because I do have my days where it's just like you asked me the other day. You asked me actually the other day, am I okay? Because
you didn't seem okay. I was like,
yeah.
you okay, bro?
Yeah, because of things that happened with my ex, and then things that's just out of my control. When things are out of my control, sometimes I
It
do
could be
feel
overwhelming.
Yeah, there's days I have overwhelmness, but I do talk to you guys about it. You know, it's always good to have someone to talk about it with. So, in general, wrap it up for me.
Y'all are such good friends.
We're all broken.
You're ruining the moment.
Sorry.
Jeez Louise.
Sorry.
Anyways,
Any whore.
I'm just really blessed to have friends that are this close, that I could tell anything to. They know my situation. I'm not gonna be blowing my situation up for any random reason. If just to be hee hee ha ha or ha ha hee hee, as some of you people say it. I don't care. Same difference.
Tomato.
Yes, I don't care.
Clearly, that was personal.
Yo, I've been corrected with that so many times. I don't care. It's the same thing. You know what I meant?
Yo, he got so tired.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like, y'all gonna stop coming for me.
Yeah, no, I don't care. You know what I said. Anyways, but yeah, it made me a stronger person because like a lot of things are out of my control. A lot of things are out of a lot of people's controls, but you just gotta take it one day at a time, and all of things just can't be rushed.
That on me right there. Take it one day at a time.
Do you really?
You just pointed at it.
Oh, I didn't. I never realized he actually had it tatted on him.
Those are my grandmother's last words. She said it all the time.
Oh
shit,
shit!
one at a time.
That.
It's important to take one day at a time because that kind of helped me through a lot of things I've been dealing with as well. I mean, if you don't take it one day at a time, you're taking it 12 days at a time. And we're taking it 12 days at a time, you're thinking way too far ahead. I think about my future a lot because my future is important to me. But when you think about your future too much, especially when you're growing and you're sad or whatever, going through some kind of process, you thinking too far into the future will ruin your present.
Isn't that a balance again, right? Balance is so key.
Exactly. It's the
Balance is
Very
so,
much so.
so key.
So I adopted the motto: "It is what it is. F what it was."
I like that.
It's okay.
I like that.
It is what it is. Not them. It is what it is.
No, I see, and that's the thing that kind of irritates me because people take literally that statement. It is what it is, and compare it to it is what it is. Nah, it's like
Different.
it exactly. It's two different meanings.
One's comical, one is not.
Exactly. The other one, when you say it is what it is, you
don't
have
care
accepted-
about.
No. You've accepted things for
Yeah,
what they
accepted
are,
it, yeah.
and you move forward.
Oh yeah.
So
The it is what it is just comical.
it really
It's
is
just
yeah.
comical.
You know, I was thinking the biggest part of the growth process last year for me was forgiveness. And I think I just talked about it on a reel that I made. But like, you forget how powerful forgiveness is and how much power you carry when you forgive someone who does not apologize or deserve forgiveness, right? So you grow as a person by saying, I don't appreciate how this person treated me. I don't appreciate what the situation was. I don't appreciate the way that they responded or they didn't give me an apology. I may not appreciate those things, but I can forgive you. I can take myself out of my current situation and I can think about things as the opposite person. And even though I may not agree with it, I can understand why it's been done or why this person may think or say or do the things that they do. And then I can accept an apology that hasn't been given and forgive based on being understanding. And that was one thing that I told myself I would get a tattoo of, is I've always been the person, and actually this tattoo on my arm is technically for that. I've always had an understanding heart. I don't like something and my immediate reaction is, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight. And
What's up?
it's
like
instant.
literally or metaphorically.
It's literal, it's metaphorical, it's
What we
I
doing?
may want to call you on the phone and tell you off. I may want to see you face to face and let's settle our differences.
Conversation.
It doesn't matter,
No talk.
but that's like my first 10-second reaction. And then it's always Lauren goes into, is there any way I can forgive this person? Did they do something to the point where whatever they did is unforgivable? And that was like the biggest growth for me.
A lot of people don't do things that are unforgivable too.
And they don't. And we forget that people are human. Like, I make mistakes, you make mistakes, and I can forgive you. But a lot of things can be saved based on communication. And that goes two ways. If you feel like I did something wrong to you and you didn't voice it or you didn't say it, that is partially your responsibility. You cannot be upset because you chose not to say something.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's vice versa for me. If I didn't say something and I don't like the way that you treated me or that you did something, but I chose not to say something to you, then that is 50-50 my fault. And I now owe you an apology for getting mad before stepping to you and saying, I don't like the way you handled this. I have no right to be upset. Because at the end of the day, it could have been a lack of communication that caused the difference. And that was all it was. You didn't do something bad or evil to me. There was no right or wrong. It was just that neither one of us communicated. And that was the wrong. And now it's 50-50. Let's talk about it. And now it's over with. And I lost friends this year because of that exact situation. I realized that the communication and forgiveness, those two things will develop a person so much. Forgiveness and communication, because without one or the other, you can communicate and you can have a hateful heart and you can be stubborn and be a bad person. You can communicate and be a bad person. You can forgive and still be a bad person because you don't know how to communicate. You're always going to forgive because you can't communicate so that that person doesn't do it to you again. Or vice versa, you don't do the same actions again, right? So you need one, you can't have one without the other. You can't be a forgiving person and not have communication.
Once again, there's a balance.
Balance.
But the thing, I think another important thing is on the topic of forgiveness, forgiving others, but forgiving yourself is just as important. Because a lot of
100%.
times we don't forgive ourselves because, you know, there's times we're like, damn, you know, I should have done this, I should have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't forgive yourself, then everything you did and didn't do kind of eats you up. And forgiving yourself is super important because we all make mistakes. We said we're all human. When we don't forgive ourselves, the issues, like that's when mental health issues come into play.
Very
that
much
comes
so.
into play. Then now you're going into your next relationship or friendship really, really overly cautious now. Now you're not even in like a natural state of speaking to somebody. You're just like a robot trying to make sure that you're not saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. And then you're going to overthink everything. And like I said earlier, overthinking is going to destroy your peace.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's unfortunate, but that is the way that it goes. But that's a part of growing, right? That's a part of learning. We're quick to point the blame, right? And then we realize that we just need to point to ourselves. And a lot of things will be fixed if we look in the mirror and just allow ourselves the grace and forgiveness that we deserve. We give it to everyone else. People do things to us and we forgive them, and then we look at ourselves and we forget, I need to accept the fact that I'm okay with being flawed. That's part of being imperfect and being human, and I can forgive myself and move forward and try again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Try again tomorrow.
Everyone's flawed. You just need to work on how do I fix my flaws? Or are they even flaws in the first place? Because sometimes your flaws are only flaws to certain people.
And let's address the fact that it's okay to seek help and get therapy. And I highly recommend it. Highly is up there in the top 5 for sure.
This
Of
is
things.
low-key our little therapy session.
It really is.
It is, though.
Even, I know a lot of people aren't comfortable paying whatever it is. At least talk to somebody you actually can talk to.
Yes.
Whether it's just like a friend, your mom, your dad, whoever. Because
Yeah.
you never know.
Exactly.
Even just because it's your parent doesn't mean you can't talk to them. Because
Yeah.
sometimes your parents probably have done things you didn't even know.
Shout out dad, best friend in the house.
I mean, we decided to start this podcast. Well, I
For
mean,
this exact reason, to be honest.
for this exact reason, and then I brought it up. I was like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast about this specific thing." We're just gonna make a video, and I was like,
Yeah.
"You know, let's make a fucking podcast." And
Like we mentioned in the first episode, we've had these kinds of conversations
on
on a
regular basis.
day-to-day basis.
Most
It's
people
so
don't
scary.
have these kind of talks, and
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't have these talks with their friends.
Mm-mm.
They're too busy talking about things that are irrelevant.
Yeah, it's either that
Partying, or they
it's
don't
that
want to ruin
or-
the vibe or whatever the hell it is.
that or just like, oh, I don't feel like expressing my feelings. That's too
Exactly.
much of a little bitch move.
Exactly, but the thing is,
Just,
expressing your feelings is gonna make your friendships deeper. One,
Exactly.
and two, if you're going through something, you might not know. One of your best friends might be going through the same fucking shit that
Yes.
that you have
Very much
not. They haven't expressed to you. So when I decided to do this, and I texted these guys, and I was like, "Yo, like, let's do this," and they're like, "Bet." And then it turned into something that I wanted to just do for fun and just fuck around and get some frustration out.
To be
And
honest.
then it was literally
Yeah.
just gonna be about, you know, my girlfriend just broke up with me. I'm fucking heated. It wasn't gonna be no girl bashing the video, but I was just gonna be like, you know what? Let me talk about some stuff like I got off my chest and put it on YouTube or make a little Instagram video. And then I was like, you know what? Like, maybe our conversations that we have will help other people. And the things I've actually gotten DMs from the first, second, and third episodes about. I watch and listen to your podcast before work. It actually clears my head. You know, we're not therapists, but sometimes we have episodes like this where it gets a little deep, and we have episodes where we're just absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
We're just doing stupid stuff.
Last
And
Yeah, last
we're
episode.
talking about getting double cheeked up on a Tuesday and whatnot.
Yeah, you still fun for that one, I swear.
You're not gonna walk in front of me on Tuesday like that. No.
Double cheeked up and whatnot. But the thing is, that, like, a lot of podcasts, people listen to podcasts to either one, get information, two, relax, three, I hope that some of these episodes of this podcast will help other people.
Mhm.
Maybe even talk. If people want to get on the podcast with us, a lot of
Shout out.
y'all know where I
Slide through the DM.
exactly.
Sure.
DMs are open.
If you live in my area, y'all know who you are.
Or if you
Hit
live
me
in
up.
my area,
Y'all live in her area,
or any of
hit
my
her up,
areas,
you know.
Manchester, Miami, Chicago, Minnesota, New York, let me know.
Too many.
Let's keep it. Let's keep it in the U.S. for right now. Preferably Florida.
How about we keep it
Listen.
in Florida?
Listen, everything Zoom podcasts are a thing, and we can make it happen.
Yeah, man, if anyone ever has anything that they want to talk about, get off their chest, DM us, DM me. All of our Instagrams are always in the videos and on the bios.
If anybody has any beef or animosity or anything they want to get off their chest, I'm more than welcome to have a podcast. This is an open invitation. It's an open invitation.
I'm done.
You gotta be careful.
Except for if I have a restraining order against you, then you're not welcome. But other than that,
and choose violence. You gotta be careful.
no, never. I'm a forgiving person. I've moved on.
I'm done.
But with that being said, like if anybody that has like any topics that they want us to talk about, by all means, just shoot us a DM.
Yes, please DM us.
Either on the podcast page or to
Personally.
us personally, whatever the case would be.
Yeah, personally,
Like-
don't matter.
It keep us kind of on our toes, I guess you can say, and like
Yeah.
help us help y'all.
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes.
So
Like I said, the content can be absolutely stupid and funny, or it could be
hella deep.
It could be hella deep.
Have
Because
the boys
sometimes we
participate
need
in a
this stuff.
challenge, you guys. Like
A
the spicy
challenge?
ramen challenge or the one chip challenge.
Imagine
Yo.
eating spicy ramen while telling our stories.
Wouldn't that be dope?
I'd
I was
sweat-
gonna bring it for
I'd
us to
sweat
do
my ass
that
off.
actually.
That's kind of
we sweat my ass off.
yeah. I don't know
But
about all that now. I don't
No,
know
that'd be
about
dope.
all
Let's
that.
do that. Let's actually do that. I'll order some. It'll be here by Monday. We can do that.
All right, well, thank you for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. If it's both, bet more than melanin.
More than melanin, more than _melanin on Instagram, TikTok, and more than melanin on YouTube.
We'll tag her on the bottom in the caption, though, so don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna tag her.